What's good, YouTube? Stormybman, and I'm back with another Stormybman's briefs. This time we focus on cutting corners to get by. In the sport of boxing, we see a lot of times that fighters are given the opportunity to be groomed and prepped toward championship aspirations by various promotional groups, managers, and television networks. But sometimes it just doesn't pan out when fighters do not have necessarily the talent or have been developed to the point that once they reach world-class status that they can compete well enough to remain in that type of consideration. This is what we mean by cutting corners. Recently we saw in the fight that took place September 25th, 2021 between Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk, where Joshua put his unified championship titles on the line against former undisputed cruiserweight champion Usyk. Here we had Joshua entering this fight already with one loss that had been avenged on his record when he lost in 2019 to Andy Ruiz Jr., and he rematched and became victorious over Ruiz 6 months later. But Usyk was no Andy Ruiz, a veteran fighter who has been champion at the amateur level, the Olympic level, and the professional level, reaching undisputed status at cruiserweight and opting to move up to also capture history as Evander Holyfield did by becoming not only a heavyweight champion, but possible undisputed. He's one belt away from that now after defeating Joshua this past Saturday. Now, for Joshua, it appears that they have cut corners for him. But not just he. There are a number of fighters across the divisions that have cut corners and found themselves in a position where now that they've had a certain amount of success, they are unwilling to test the markets and really cement their status or position in the sport. When we see fighters like Teofimo Lopez, after his outstanding victory over Vasily Lomachenko, has yet to defend those unified titles that he won off of Lomachenko, and all the time he's saying that he will not rematch Vasily Lomachenko. Then you have the fighters like Devin Haney, who at the lightweight division is a young fighter who is looking for the opportunity, not to cut corners, but to take on the challenge, to prove himself in the sport that can cement his position as a quality future champion. When we have so much corruption in the sport and you do not have enough of proper promotion of the fighters who really mean something in the sport, this is the status that you arrive at, a stalemate. Fights not taking place, no one's moving, no one's putting anything on the line. This has to stop because it is killing the sport. One thing that can be done by the fighters who are looking to challenge their legacies is to start going on world tours. Sometimes just to get out of the stale waters and into fresh waters, you can rebuild yourself through a class of new audience and experience where people who may not have had a chance to know who you are can get to know you. This is important. Fighters in the old days used to do this often, and they became world-renowned and world-class. It's something to consider. Some people may think home is where the heart is, but sometimes when you venture out into the wilderness, you can gain far more experience. What do you think about this? This is something that should be talked about more, and cutting the corners is not the way to remain at the top. This is Stormybman. That's all I have for you at this time. Leave comments and let's discuss it all. Until the next time we meet, peace to everyone out there, and please, everyone, remain safe.